With me now to talk about the president's America First push are Heather Higgins, president and CEO of Independent Women's Voice, Deneen Borelli, Fox News contributor and CRTV.com host, and Capri Cafaro, former Ohio State Senate Minority Leader, rather. Ladies, let me start with you in studio. I've always said the president's job is to be CEO, Chief Excitement Officer. People say, well, Trump didn't do much. He didn't get much done. Why does he get credit? The bully pulpit, Heather, it's important. And when the bully pulpit is about optimism, about excitement, and about can-doism, it is infectious.
It absolutely is. And psychology drives markets, right? We tend to forget that that's sort of really key. And what you were watching Trump doing here today was very much what he had done with the senators. He's going in, he's taking command, he's sucking all the oxygen out of the room. There is no question that he's top dog. The meme had been, how can you go to this globalist place that no president has been to since Clinton? But they forget that this is an alpha dog culture. CEOs operate in that environment. This is not only a bigger alpha dog, this is the lion himself going into the lion's den with absolutely no fear, taking over and taking command for the whole world to see.
No, it has been like watching a rock star go through there. I mean, and he's gotten a tremendous amount of respect. That roundtable, for instance, was absolutely remarkable. These CEOs of foreign-based companies extolling the virtues of being in America, doing business in America, and they seem like they're pretty excited to have Trump as president.
It's a beautiful thing, Charles. Where is the scrolling graphic of all of the companies that have announced that they're giving bonuses and other benefits to their employees? It's an amazing thing to see. And listen, President Trump, this is not an apology speech. This is an America First speech on the world stage. All eyes will be watching. And, a lot of these CEOs are liberals. They are now coming out today or yesterday saying that the tax cuts are great. Regulatory reform is great. Jamie Dimon said that Trump would be a one-term president, and now he is now celebrating what the president has done. Right. Lloyd Blankfein, the same thing, criticizing Trump, and now they're all on board because it's all about business.
Right. And in this case, Capri, we're talking about CEOs of large foreign corporations saying, hey, we want a piece of the action, too. We want to be part of this American renaissance.
Right. I actually had an opportunity to see the remarks at that roundtable, at that dinner, live when it happened. And it was interesting to see all the CEOs, from different countries like Total, for example, from France and a number of others, Anheuser-Busch, which was American, and foreign and domestic alike. They were talking about the desire to see more from the tax cuts, that they are investing more into the United States. And while I'm sure that the individuals that attended this meeting were curated and chosen because of their commitment to investment into the United States, the fact that the world is seeing that, I think, to your point earlier, Charles, with the Chief Excitement Officer of the United States, I think that when others see, chief executive officers and multinational corporations saying we want to continue our investment into the United States from the horse's mouth, it certainly creates that kind of excitement for more to jump on board.
Capri, juxtapose it, if you will, with President Obama, his first world tour, which was a combination of sort of an apology tour, saying, hey, every country feels good about themselves and we should also, bowing on a few occasions. It was he apologized for America's greatness, where it feels like Trump is saying we're not ashamed that we're an amazing country and we plan to stay this way.
Well, I think that, the circumstances are vastly different in 2009 than they were, that they are today. I mean, President Obama was in the midst of a significant financial crisis in early 2009, reeling from a huge stock market drop and toxic loans, and coming off the heels of a war in Iraq and Afghanistan that was wildly unpopular at the time. So I think that the dynamics in 2009 are very different than they are in 2017. Regardless, that's the past. This is the future. Democrat or Republican, we need to be encouraging investment no matter how we do it. And that's why you're seeing folks like Starbucks saying we're excited about it. And if I may just close with this, saying that, people have been concerned, how is Trump going to go to Davos when he has said, we're going to rip up trade agreements? Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary, has talked about the value of bilateral trade agreements rather than multilateral trade agreements, which I think strengthens our position as a negotiator negotiator.
And indeed, Trump was talking about TPP.
Sure, he
today,
even said he
which
would
is all
look
part
at
of
that
his
again.
negotiations. The biggest difference is that he isn't defending America first; he's selling it. And what we actually have for the first time is somebody who's masterful at sales and persuasion, going out to sell America, and as opposed to sort of making Americans feel like they're sort of the last thing to be considered. He has them being
Ladies,
first.
I do have to shift course a little bit because about 20 minutes before we came on there, new texts were released between FBI agents Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. And this one, very revealing, where Page wrote, "One more thing. Sure, she might be our next president. The last thing you need us going in there loaded for bear. You think she's going to remember or care that it was more DOJ than FBI?" And Strzok replied, "Agreed. I called Bill and relayed what we discussed. He agrees. And I will email you and redact same." Deneen, I mean, this is a 6-page release from Grassley. More of this is going to come out. Of course, they've recovered those lost texts. Damning stuff, and it just continues to pile on the notion that you had key folks in the intelligence community, in this particular case, the FBI, who might have been plotting. Certainly their bias against Trump they wore it on their sleeve. Their disdain for candidate Trump was visceral.
Yep.
But they might have acted on that, and that scares a lot of people.
And definitely pulling punches is
Right.
what this indicates.
Yeah, well, this is classic. Accuse your opponent of what you are actually doing. More information is going to come out, Charles, and I got to tell you, all of this takes my breath away because, thank goodness, Trump is in office. Because if Hillary Clinton was elected president, we would not know the depth and the expansion of all of the corruption and all of the nonsense that's going on with people in these positions
Sure.
that are abusing their positions in government.
You know, Capri, of course, you were an elected official, and you understand, we talk about prosperity in America, but it's
Right.
all built on rule of law and,
Right.
and the ability to trust our government. In this particular case, those police agencies, these intelligence agencies, where we know the average FBI agent's just out there working his or her tail off, but
That's right.
everyone's embarrassed by this, and more importantly, the notion that these higher-ups may have tried to manipulate the outcome of an election and then
Right.
do something about the outcome they didn't like.
Well, Lady Justice is supposed to be blind, whether it's the FBI, the DOJ, or otherwise. I served on the Ethics Committee in Ohio for 8 of my 10 years in office, and I can tell you that just in that experience, we dealt with Democrats and Republicans. We dealt with law enforcement at the state and federal level, and, these folks are incredible. I'm glad to see these two in question, have been removed from their positions, and it's an unfortunate, black eye on the FBI and the Justice Department, but it is good that this is coming out there and is being transparent because regardless, Democrat or Republican, these agencies in particular dealing with law enforcement have to be held
Right.
to account.
Right. Well, you know what, to your point, hopefully it will all come out, will be transparent, and the American public can make up their minds of what exactly happened without all the speculation, but just as damning stuff that we just got moments ago. Thank you, ladies, all very much.